today we're talking about brain fog, the kind that makes you walk into a room and forget why you're there, the kind that whispers, is this early Alzheimer's? Brain fog isn't a diagnosis, it's a constellation of symptoms, word-finding issues, short-term memory slips, this vague sense that your brain just isn't on. And it's not just stress or just aging. Now here's the deal, it's common, especially in women, but it's not normal. Brain fog is reversible. The brain is plastic. Your energy systems can reboot, but you have to treat the root cause. Here's your roadmap. Number 1, track your biomarkers. Number 2, welcome back to Treated. I'm Dr. Sara, and today we're talking about brain fog, the kind that makes you stare at your laptop like it's in Sanskrit, the kind that makes you walk into a room and forget why you're there, the kind that whispers, is this early Alzheimer's? When it's actually biology. Not just any biology, we're talking about hormonal chaos, mitochondrial misfires, and what I call neuroenergetic bankruptcy. From postpartum to perimenopause to menopause, this is not a vibe, it's a signal. And today we decode it. Let's go. So what is brain fog really? Brain fog isn't a diagnosis. It's a constellation of symptoms, cognitive slowing, word-finding issues, short-term memory slips, this vague sense that your brain just isn't on. Now, here's the deal. It's common, especially in women, but it's not normal. And it's not just stress or just aging. In many cases, it's a sign of underlying dysfunction in 4 main systems: hormones, mitochondria, brain energy metabolism, and inflammation. So what's happening in the brain fog? Your brain is often struggling to make enough energy to function at full capacity. Sometimes it's a hormone issue. Sometimes it's nutrient depletion. Sometimes your nervous system is literally inflamed. In many cases, it's all of the above. So let's map it by decade. Let's start with your 30s. Now, you might be building a career, you might be raising small humans, managing parents, partnerships, performance reviews, and one day you realize, oh, I can't think straight anymore. If you're postpartum, that fog has a name: postnatal neuroinflammation and hormonal crash. After birth, estrogen and progesterone, which are both brain-active hormones, drop off a cliff. Estrogen, estradiol specifically, helps with memory and focus. Progesterone produces allopregnanolone, a calming neurosteroid that helps you feel safe, helps you sleep, and mentally organize yourself. No wonder you feel like your brain's been wiped. This can also lead to sleep fragmentation, poor lymphatic clearance, micronutrient depletion, like low B12, iron, omega-3s, thyroid swings, including postpartum thyroiditis, and estrogen overload. Not the kind that's good for cognition, but the kind that can lead to burnout. Let's talk about burnout for a moment. It's not just a failure of resilience, it is a neuroendocrine event. Your brain downregulates energy output in the face of chronic stress. The mitochondria in your brain cells, your neurons, literally throttle down ATP production. It's a survival strategy. You're not lazy, you're metabolically overwhelmed. So let me give you a quick little science moment related to burnout. Burnout is what happens when chronic stress goes unchecked. Often it's tied to workplace stress, like a toxic job, particularly for people in the helping professions, which explains why we see higher rates of burnout in teachers, nurses, physicians. Now, it could be burnout that's related to a job outside of the home, but it could also be inside the home. If you're a caregiver, if you're taking care of children, if you're taking care of parents who are becoming ill, the single mom is especially vulnerable. Burnout shows up as exhaustion, cynicism, and feeling like you're no longer effective at the job that you're trying to do. And that 3-part definition, emotional exhaustion, depersonalization, and reduced personal accomplishment, is the most widely used model. It's based on the Maslow burnout inventory, which I'll link to in the show notes. So, some of the recent consensus efforts, like the Omega Net Delphi process, have refined the definition a bit further. Burnout is a state of physical and emotional exhaustion caused by prolonged stress. Now, burnout isn't classified as a medical diagnosis, but it still comes with major health consequences like reduced immune function, increased cardiovascular risk, and impaired cognitive performance. So while it's not in the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, burnout is very real, and it's also very measurable in the body. Let's take a beat and define burnout in biological terms. When you're under chronic, unrelenting stress, the control system for your sex hormones, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, becomes dysregulated. Cortisol can either stay high or it can be high and low within the same day, or it can flatten. Your heart rate variability might tank. Your mitochondria, those little energy factories inside of your cells, can go into protective mode. And the result is that your brain flips into energy conservation. So you think about it as dim lights in a blackout city. You can function, but only barely. And this shows up as brain fog, fatigue, irritability, lack of joy. And it's often missed because labs are normal. But if we could see your cellular energy in real time, it would be flashing red. So let's move to the next decade, perimenopause. Perimenopause is puberty in reverse, and the brain often feels it first. By your 40s, estradiol starts to swing wildly. One day you can have 300% more than baseline, the next day you're scraping the bottom of the barrel. This type of hormonal chaos can affect synaptic plasticity in the hippocampus, the part of your brain that's responsible for memory consolidation and emotional regulation. It can also affect your brain glucose metabolism. It can impact your mitochondrial efficiency and also acetylcholine production, which is critical for memory. This is why some women in perimenopause feel like they have early Alzheimer's. And here's something wild. Estrogen is neuroprotective. It helps the brain turn glucose into fuel. When estrogen becomes unreliable, the brain's fuel supply falters. The result is what researchers call type 3 diabetes, and that's when the brain starts to peter out, doesn't have the fuel that it needs, especially in women with insulin resistance or ApoE4. There's some other culprits too in your 40s, like low progesterone. That can lead to poor sleep and more anxiety. There's gut inflammation because some of the cytokines that are produced in the gut can cross the blood-brain barrier. You could have nutrient deficiencies, as I mentioned, such as B vitamins and magnesium. You can even have subclinical hypothyroidism, which is often missed, but it's very real. In your 50s, you can have menopause and cerebral metabolism collapse. When you hit menopause, which is 12 months without a period or having an FSH that's greater than 25 to 35, your estradiol drops 90%. Along with it, the cerebral glucose metabolism, the way that your brain uses glucose, can fall by up to 25% in some studies. This is not just aging. This is a fuel shortage, a blackout. The brain tries to shift to making ketones, but it isn't great at it unless you've got yourself trained for metabolic flexibility, and you can switch back and forth between using glucose and using ketones for fuel. So what do women experience? Memory lapses, verbal recall problems, poor executive function, word-finding glitches. Meanwhile, inflammation goes up. Cortisol can be unopposed. Mitochondria get sluggish. That's why 2 out of 3 Alzheimer's patients are women. It starts here. Menopause isn't just the end of reproduction. It's the start of neurologic vulnerability unless we intervene. Let's talk about what you can do. I like to think of this as the clarity protocol. I want to wrap up this solo episode with some of the good news, that brain fog is reversible. The brain is plastic. Your energy systems can reboot, but you have to treat the root cause. Here's your roadmap. Number 1, track your biomarkers. That includes hormones, heart rate variability, sleep architecture, fasting glucose, cognition. Test, don't guess. Number 2, replace what's missing. That includes estradiol, generally transdermal and bioidentical. That also includes progesterone. I like to give it orally for sleep and neuroprotection. I like to give thyroid if I've got a patient who's got a problem with hypothyroidism. And I like to replace micronutrients, often with B complex, magnesium, omega-3s, specialized pro-resolving mediators, choline, and other supplements. Number 3, heal your mitochondria. That includes zone 2 training, CoQ10, alpha-lipoic acid, creatine, sometimes cyclic ketosis, like I talk about in Women, Food, and Hormones, or a fasting mimicking diet. Number 4, calm the neuroinflammation. This is where gut repair is so important. Taking polyphenols, getting 5 to 7 different colors of the rainbow with your food each day, and deep restorative sleep. Number 5, rewire your stress response. That includes HRV, biofeedback, somatic practices, and therapy that targets limbic looping like EMDR. Mental clarity is not optional. It is a marker of systemic health. If you're foggy, fatigued, or feel like your brain betrayed you, you're not broken. You're just underpowered. Your mitochondria are probably underpowered, and that's fixable. You deserve a clear mind, a sharp memory, and the ability to live in full cognitive color. Start with your biology. The rest will follow. I'm Dr. Sara Zoll, and you've been treated. If this episode helped you, share it with a friend in the fog, and subscribe for more science-based clarity on women's health and hormones. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and take care of your brain.